Hello and welcome to Kirby's Curio. This is the series where I work on a fantasy forest using VR in Tilt Brush. It is Carpe Noctem, which is Latin for seize the night, because as you can see, it is forever night in my forest. If you look up, you'll see a beautiful space sky. Now what we're working on today is the wishing well. So in order for me to make a perfectly round well, I'm going to use this guide and paint 3D rock shapes over the surface of it. And I'm going to keep my palette in the gray family. Different shades of gray, looking like little boulders. Oh, whoops. I noticed that when I was using the guide that I could only make the pebbles come out so far. As you can see, they all kind of have like a flattish surface, almost like a barrier that you could make the 3D happen on the guide. But I'd rather deal with that than having to just freehand all the rocks on top of each other. This was much quicker. Pick that up and get rid of it. And now we select all of the boulders and group them into one. So that anytime I want to select this, it will be all selected all at once and I don't have to do that all over again. Now it's going to be kind of directly across from the home tree. I want it to be a little bit bigger, so I just supersized it a little bit. Whoa, looks kind of deep in there. Hello, 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 hello. Next, I'm going to do the wooden pillars that go on either side, so there's going to be two of them. Using the guides, I'm just sort of making the size and shape that I want them to be. I definitely could have used the copy tool, but for some reason I haven't really mastered it, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of practicing to get that down because it would be very handy. And in the meantime, I just did two different ones and I made them pretty similar looking in size and shape. And I'm painting them with the cell brush. I thought it kind of looked a little bit like wood. It's funny because it's like, did I get everything? Let me just look in the middle of this tube here. Go on, get the stick, get the stick. You want the stick? Now get it. And we select the wood pillars and size them up a little bit and put them in the width of the stone. I had to make sure that they weren't too wide, otherwise they'd pop through the side of the stone. But I pretty much got it on my relatively first try. Now time to make the roof. I'm gonna use the guide again. These guides, they're very handy. Now I thought I'm gonna use this corner to make sort of like matching symmetrical roof. I'll just paint on top of it. but I'm trying to stretch it out to get about the size that I want. About this big, maybe a little bigger. So I took it back down, put it where I can reach it, and now it's time to paint. I'm not going to paint this whole surface, but I am going to use it as a perfect little guide. I don't quite know if you're going to end up seeing all the different layers that I do, but I'm going to do them anyway. So I'm going to paint the bottom in a solid color first. It's a little bit lighter than I wanted. Darken it up a little bit. It's a little bit better, but I kind of want it darker than that. Ooh, it's kind of brown. Perfect. Now time to paint. Paint, 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 paint. To make sure it was even on both sides, I counted the amount of squares on one side, and I just made sure that it was the exact same length on the other side. Now this layer is sort of like that first layer of moss that's sort of growing on the wood. I knew it wasn't really going to be seen a lot, so I wasn't really worried about it being perfect. I just wanted sort of the base. And I didn't even really know if you were going to see it anyway. So I'm not really sure if it mattered, but at least it matters to me. Now I want this entire roof to just be coated in moss and grass and just plants and a little bit of mushrooms. So I'm gonna coat this thing, and let me tell you, it's just satisfying to lay down all this grass. The flat grass and then the tall grass too. A little bit of different color action happening. I felt like the anti-hairdresser. Like, instead of cutting hair, I was putting the hair there, except for it was grass. It doesn't seem like it because I trimmed away a lot of the footage, but I actually spent a lot of time on just like the grass and the roof and stuff. So now at this point, this is before I make the tall grass on the roof, but I did want to make it a solid piece all together as one, and I wanted to see how it looked before I went any farther, just to make sure. Let me just grab the roof and set it up here. Now I'm gonna step back, and oh, that is perfect. I love the size, I love the shape, I love the effect, but now it's time to make the tall grass. Just a little bit at a time. Some tall grass here, some tall grass there. I was very particular on exactly where I put this. There, yeah, a little bit more. No rush, no rush. It was very calming, it was very zen. I was like, oh, is that good? It's kind of like a cowlick of grass. I like it. So now I'm going to go in with a darker layer of grass. So I went ahead and did both sides, a little bit of darker. And then I went in again with a slightly different, more of an olive shade, mossy shade, and with a smaller area brush. Did some fine-tuned details. And now I need to put a little bit of mushrooms because we all know that mushrooms are going to be everywhere in this forest. They're just so great. I think they're adorable. And I chose goldenrod because I just felt like it popped. Popped over here with the green. Look at these 3 amigos. Ah, love them. And now I think I need to put a little bit on the other side. Then I walk through the roof. I think I want to put just one Lone Ranger mushroom. And I want this one to have sort of a bigger head too. About that big. Yeah. Wait a minute, how does that look? No. That's far too bulky for that little delicate little stem. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I want it to be that wide, but I want it to be really thin. Kind of like a coin. So I'm gonna use my guide using a flat brush, paint the disc on there, then grab it and place it ever so gently onto the stem. It's a little bigger than what I wanted, so shrink that up. And then place it on. That's a perfect size. Voila. Now, you know what? I needed a little bit of something by it, so what I did was, I love it! I chose the bubbles, almost like these little spores that are just kind of adorable. I love tiny little details like that in anything, so it really tickles me to do that sort of thing in my own little creation. Oh my gosh. Have you seen a cuter mushroom? I'm not sure. I had considered a few different looks to what I wanted the well to look like, but in the end, I decided I wanted to go with pink and blue. Definitely very magical looking, an obvious looking magic wishing well. Definitely if you saw a well like this, you would want to put a wish into it. Shoot, if I saw a well like this, I'd almost be tempted to drink the water or to even jump inside. I mean, is this how I become a magic bitch? Because this is exactly what I want to do. Using the diamond hull brush is how I like to use my water effects. Put a little bit of bubble action in here to give it sort of like a little liquid factor. Yeah, but it just wasn't magical enough. Ah, yes, exactly. Put some of this at the bottom, that way magic embers are sort of creeping up, tickling out of the surface of the water. Got some green, and I think I need to have some green and pink. It's a little green and pink. Oh, that looks nice. Very magical. Well, I had this gap over here that was just bugging me. I probably could have left it, but I'm gonna put a bird's nest there. like sticks. And I'll put some sort of like robin's egg type looking eggs in there. And a little bit more, yeah. It's pretty good, I like that. Now time for the coin. I had considered a pile of coins. I considered coins down at the bottom of the well. I even had a suggestion to have some of the butterflies have coins for wings, even. Or flowers for coins. But it's not quite what I was going for. I wanted there to be one coin and one chance to make your one wish. I want to put some butterflies flying around the well, and I want them to be glowing. And in order for me to have them have really thin wings, I have to have 2 separate drawings of each wing. And then I have to place them separately to where they make the butterfly shape. Got a pink one. Got a green one. And we're gonna make a dark blue one. That looks pretty. Yeah. This is really one of my favorite brushes. It's super cute. It's the same brush that I used for some of the effects in the well. The spiral effects. This one up here, just line the wings up and boop. Aw, looks so cute. And do the same thing with the blue one. Perfect. And now the dark blue one. And the green one. Make sure that the wing is the right direction. There we go. Very nice. Now let's see how they all look all together. Let me get back for a second. Ooh, me likey. I want you to be able to notice this little coin, so I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle on it. It's got a little golden sparkle action. Catch your eye. I love ivy, and I wanted the wishing well to sort of have some ivy growing on it. I didn't know whether I wanted it to be totally enveloped with ivy, but I definitely knew I wanted to have stone base with a mossy, grassy roof with some mushrooms, and I wanted some ivy. So I decided just on the one side I was going to put sort of a semi-generous amount, putting the vine all squiggly all around the place. Tried to keep it relatively realistic. I've been around my share of vines. Not that I'm adhering to super realistic specifications. I just didn't feel like this nest had enough depth. So I went back, created a little bit of shadow, like the middle of the nest, and a little bit of different color sticks and fluff poking out. I felt like just that little bit of detail added really helped it look very nice. Time for one of my favorite things, adding these little petals or little leaves with that cell tool. I kept a lot of this footage in here because I just felt like it was so satisfying to watch. just kept adding leaves here and there. And I got some honey milkweed ivy growing outside right now. I have some on my porch. Some people don't like it, but I really like ivy, so gonna keep it. Plus, butterflies love it, and especially monarch butterflies. And I'm all about helping out the monarchs. So you best believe that stuff is gonna stay. In fact, I'm sort of using it as a privacy wall between me and my neighbor. I put some string going from my fence to sort of like part of the roof over the porch, so that there'll be this green leafy barrier between me and the next door neighbor. If I ever want to like sit on the porch, which I do sometimes. But not lately because it's hot. It's so freaking hot. Time to add the little finishing touches of the little tiny leaves on the little squiggly bits that I added. Like new growth. Oh gosh, you think I have enough leaves? Looks great. I love it. I was thinking that I wanted sort of like a motion trail. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, I like that. I'm gonna match up the colors to the butterfly. I like that. Pink for the pink one. Yeah. You know what? Let's see what it looks like with two. Ooh, I like the two better. Put another one on this one. Very good, very good. Ah, there we are. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, wow. Oh, I'm so happy with how this turned out. I just love it. Now stay tuned. I'm going to continue to build on my forest, keeping every new episode as one more item in the world. So stay tuned, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time on Carpe Noctem. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.